songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs. Spoofs, goofs, and novelty songs.
It's me, Marty. Gentleman.
No, go ahead. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear this.
Gentlemen, I'd love to hear this.
Interesting.
Are we vaccinated yet for this episode?
Ooh.
Oh my God, are we getting together?
Wait, Marty, when are you? Is this our last? Potentially the next step we record? Are we going to be in person?
Possibly. I have one shot at this point. I think I've only got at this point of this podcast coming out. I think I've still only got one shot. I think.
All right, never mind. Not happening. Ever.
I mean, it'd be better if we could.
Well, yeah, we got to pass two things. We all have to be vaccinated, and we all have to be invited into Scott's house. So the vaccination part's easy. The Scott's house invitation.
Let's just say it's an exclusive domain.
Yeah, the penthouse suite.
You gotta know somebody who knows somebody. You can't just walk in here.
Scott, it's me. It's your co-host, Kelly. It's me, Scott. Let me in.
I don't know no Kelly.
Who?
I'm the bouncer.
You know, I have that I do the romantic comedy thing at the end.
Rings a bell.
Oh yeah, you didn't take my suggestion to do You, Me, and Dupree.
Oh, this week.
Shit.
This week you should.
Oh.
This week you should.
Oh no. Well, I remember. We'll see. It's 40 minutes away. This is my new YouTube challenge.
Remember?
Say You, Me, and Dupree in 40 minutes. I bet you can't do it.
Remember one movie title for 40 minutes.
We'll see.
Kelly, if you
doubt it.
can't, your brain, you
I
might actually need to go to
truly
the hospital.
I don't think I can. That sounds really fucking difficult.
Oh my God.
We'll find out. We shouldn't dwell on it too much.
Okay, I'll be in the corner. You guys do the show.
And you know what, listener? Why don't you accept the challenge as well?
The You, Me, and Dupree challenge here in Spoof Scoops and Novelty Songs.
All right. Nobody say it again. Nobody say it again. Let's get into it, because you know what? I think we got a big movie to talk about. Sort of like a whale of a movie, you might say.
Welcome to Spoof Scoops and Novelty Songs.
It's where Dreamworks come true. It's our new tagline.
Where dreams make work.
Yeah, where dreams turn into work for us.
That's right. It's April Fool's Month, and this week we're reviewing Shark Tale, a 2004 American computer animated comedy film.
Hey, April Fools, you have to listen to us talk about this movie.
This is America? They made this in the U.S.?
This is an American film, yes.
What part of the U.S. did they make it in where they got all those crazy colors?
Underwater, baby.
Hollywood, baby.
Lake Michigan.
That's what the ocean looks like?
This film is about a fish who falsely claims to have killed the son of a shark mob boss. Those characters are played by Will Smith and Robert De Niro, who alongside Renee Zellweger, Jack Black, Angelina Jolie, Martin Scorsese, Ziggy Marley, Michael Imperioli, Peter Falk, and Katie Couric round out a truly massive cast. This film was a hit, despite being completely panned by critics and generating controversy for its portrayal of Italian Americans and for alleged homosexual propaganda. This film was nominated for Best Animated Feature, but lost to The Incredibles. Yes, conservatives...
You're going to have to walk me through that
conservatives,
No,
we'll
just
get
wait. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. But conservatives claimed it was promoting the homosexual agenda. This movie was produced at the same time as Finding Nemo, with Jeffrey Katzenberg
Weird.
once again defending DreamWorks, saying any similarities are mere coincidence, but that they had been in open communication with Pixar so they wouldn't make too similar of a movie. They still ended up doing that, though.
I think the same pitch guy went to both studios, and on the whiteboard he had written Bug Movie, and he just went from one meeting to the next where he crossed out Bug Movie and wrote Fish.
And he also opened up his clamshell Mac, and he was like, look at this screensaver, and it was the ocean.
There's a pretty good article on scriptmag.com that goes into the writing process of the film with the writer-director, one of the writer-directors, because there's like 4 writers and 3 directors on this film. Rob Letterman was one of those people. He wrote this article. Basically, he was brought in to rewrite the original script, and he goes through beat by beat the process of writing the entire movie. If you're a fan of this flick, check out this article. I'm not going to go through the whole details because it's long. Arguably, this movie is the entire reason we're doing DreamWorks Month. I think we were all down to do this one the most. And then we were like, okay, we'll do another Shrek movie. Okay, fine, fuck it. We'll just do all DreamWorks movies. This movie is supposedly a spoof of The Godfather, Jaws, and the 70s comedy Car Wash. And I would argue it probably parodies Car Wash more than the other two. And I've
You know what I think it's a parody of?
Fish.
Marine life.
I don't even have to ask you, gentlemen. What did you think of Shark Tale?
You don't have to ask us, but you're gonna.
I don't want to ask you questions, but I love to hear your answers.
Oh, okay.
You just can't resist, can you?
Kelly, do you want to go first?
I don't have a lot to say about this movie. It's got fish. It's kind of a spoof of Planet Earth when you really think about it. Or sorry, no, Blue Planet more than Planet Earth. If you really think about it, though, I don't know if you want to watch this movie and really think about it. That's kind of like oil and water type situation. You probably just don't want to watch this movie at all, and who could blame you? That's my take. Cut, print. Done.
Yeah, I'll just say when I was talking in Ants about this phenomena of like where in like these animated kids movies, especially in like the oddies, or maybe it started in the 90s, but I definitely remember like when I was, growing up as a kid. Oh, my poor parents taking me to movies like this. And, like I said, they throw in a couple jokes for the kids. And what was weird about Ants was that it felt like it was like all jokes for the kids. All jokes
for the adults, yeah.
Thank you. All jokes for the parents. And I felt kind of the same way about this movie. And just like having seen it as like, I don't know, like a fucking like sixth grader or whatever. And then like seeing it as an adult, I think I was like utterly nonplussed both times. But just like I got like what they were going for more with all these references and shit. And it sucks. Like I don't know.
Wow.
It's just a lot of well, kind of like what Kelly was saying with like if it actually was like a spoof of like Blue Planet or whatever, or like an Attenborough like doc, that would actually like rock. But I feel like they actually barely interfaced with the material they were spoofing. Like I think that definitely if this is a spoof of anything, it's a spoof of like fish and stuff, but they like barely touched that outside of like making like puns. And I think like a lot of it was kind of the same as Ants or like the same as Shrek, where like they take these like genres or like themes that you know really well, and then we're like, what if it was just like normal everyday life? Where like Finding Nemo actually I think is like kind of closer to like they're using like the Attenborough material. Like they're kind of like assuming more good faith in their audience, and like assuming that their audience like knows a little bit more about like fish, or like has spent time like watching fish or something like that. It just seems like a little bit more like observant of its source material. And this just seems like writer's room, we're just gonna get all these jokes out. Like there's another like what if a big city, but it's fish.
Yeah.
Big city montage, but fish. And that's like the first like 5 minutes of this movie.
This was really similar to Ants in a lot of ways, like that. Yes.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is just like as Jack Black apologist, oh my, you can like barely tell it's him in this movie, like because he's like doing kind of a weird voice, but also it's just such a flat performance. It's just such a like, and honestly, like out of everybody, like Will Smith's part could have been played by anybody else. They just like, I'm sure they like, they probably just like didn't give that character like a face until they like voiced the part, and then they're like, okay, now we can make it look like Will Smith. But like it could have been anybody. And yeah, everybody's performance is just like, obviously they're just collecting a fucking paycheck. I'm sure these movies pay out really well, and you just gotta like come into the studio for like a day and a half and bada boom bada bing. As a movie, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I like this movie. So I just disagree with a lot of what you just said. So let's get ready to rumble.
All right, convince me.
Voiceover stuff. So we talked about this with Ants, that we thought like DreamWorks in general had this problem of casting too big of names. I actually completely do a 180 here, because I thought the performances in general were really strong in this movie. I thought Will Smith was good. I think Renee Zellweger is really great in this movie.
I'm sorry, did you think fucking Scorsese was like a good actor in
I
this?
genuinely liked Scorsese in this movie. And he's like the
my
third lead.
God.
I was shocked at how much he's in this movie. I thought he was just a cameo.
He's in this movie a lot.
He's in this movie more than De Niro is. De Niro's really bad in this movie, by the way, but he's in this movie more than De Niro. De Niro's the one that sticks out. I think like De Niro and Jolie specifically, where I was just like, I kind of don't even care about I mean, that's...
Jolie could have been anybody. Again,
Yes.
they could have saved so much money and hired like better,
Nobodies.
more obscure voice. Yeah, nobody.
You could cast just Will Smith.
I was going to say talented, hardworking, lesser-known voice actor. Yeah, AKA nobody.
I just mean, like...
Clearly you learned nothing from this movie, Marty.
I just mean, like, you could have cast just Will Smith and then given an opportunity to people who weren't famous so they could get a big credit, right? But I don't know. I, in general, thought this movie was much more clever than Ants was, but I do think it was doing pretty much the same thing, which made its ceiling really low. But this is where I'm a little more forgiving of this movie. I thought this movie was more aimed at kids, so I was like, I kind of buy that this is like, it's not, because I think the big thing with why it got critically so panned is that this movie was marketed like pretty much like it was going to be a mob spoof movie, and that's like barely anything in the movie. Like, there's some reviews that somehow were like, this movie's not very good, but the mob parody parts are great. And it's like, there's like no mob jokes in this movie besides just like De Niro's character is a mobster. That's like the only, what's the spoof? It's just that he's a shark? Like, that's not even a parody. That's just, what if he's a mobster, but he's a shark? Like, that's just nothing. And I think in general, like, this movie wasn't trying to do too much parody stuff, and it was more just aimed at like, let's just do like cultural conscious, kind of like, kids kind of are somewhat aware of like bad guys, and those are usually like mobsters or gangsters, so like they'll just talk like that kind of. And in general, I thought that stuff was like fine, but I liked the movie. Like, I liked the characters were really good in this movie. I feel really stupid after what you said, because now I feel like a rube being like, I actually liked Will Smith's arc in this movie, and I liked Jack Black's character.
I didn't think that I like, of all the elements, I thought the writing was like, overall, yeah, I do think that the like arc, I think that this is like a fine. I also think this is like kind of like, it's almost like an Aesop fable or something that we've like seen a bunch of times, but I had no problem with them using that like structure to, you know, fit this thing on top of.
Yeah, I thought it worked.
It just seems like a fucking cash grab to me.
Yeah,
though,
yes,
honestly.
and it
Like,
was. It was a notorious, like, they were just trying super hard to get all these people in to get, and it made a lot of money, and they all probably took huge back end deals. Like, I'm assuming they all got huge payouts. Like why the fuck is Scorsese in this movie? Scorsese in the movie because like they were like, oh, we'll do a mob parody, and he's like, okay, I'm the mob director, whatever. But then it's just like he gets like, you know, $1 million out of this movie or whatever.
Pretty much.
You know what they did? They made his. Sorry, Kelly, go ahead.
I think Scott's critique is right and Marty's is wrong. Go ahead.
I just thought the movie was charming.
I really didn't. I mean, I don't know. I think it's like, it sucks. It's funny because Pixar is just going to overshadow DreamWorks films like forever, almost until the end of the time. They're a little bit more even now than they were back when this came out, but like, you think about the actual journey that happens in Finding Nemo and some of the clever stuff that they do. Like, I remember them getting out of the fish tank, but they're still in the bags, and they get to the ocean, and they're like, now what? Like, there's just a lot more clever moments. And then in Shark Tale, it's just like Scott said, hey, what if it's fish, but they're like humans, you know? And it's like, so, like, yeah, that's great, but then what? Like, what are you doing, like, right now? Like, what are you going to do to elevate that? And they just don't elevate it that much. And I guess, like, Marty's argument is that the characters do, but I think they're all pretty flat in this movie. Like, it did feel like a cash grab. Luckily, it worked. They made money, I guess, luckily. I don't know. It just seemed like such a boring and forgettable movie. Like, honestly, the only reason I remember this movie is because of Finding Nemo, because of how silly it is that they, like, came out at the same time, and it was like, it's like a straight to DVD film that goes to theaters because it's by a big production company and it has big stars.
Asylum does those. Like they're called like they'll do like a Transformers one that's called like Transmorphers.
Morph transers, yeah, like stuff like that. Yeah, that's like how it feels.
Another thing on the fucking Pixar versus DreamWorks tip is that if you look at Ants and fucking Bug's Life and then this movie Finding Nemo, DreamWorks always tries to make their fucking characters like too human looking.
Yes, that is disturbing in this movie.
The fact that Angelina Jolie's character has hair, hate that.
You look at in Finding Dory, this is a much more recent film, but there's a tweet circulating today that was like they gave this fish a receding hairline, and it was just like the way that the type of fish Dory is, their paint line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the black was further back on its head, and it's like, yeah, that's clever as
so
fuck.
much more creative.
Whereas Pixar is just like, we'll give this shark a big human nose. Like,
or literally like fucking Scorsese has like his gray hair on the sides of his
eyebrows.
head.
He has the Scorsese's eyebrows.
They just don't. They don't have a way of like humanizing these things without giving them human features, and it's like uncanny valley a little bit.
What if it was Scorsese himself in like a 1800s scuba suit?
I would love that. That'd be great.
I would love that too.
He's like,
that'd be like David Hasselhoff in the SpongeBob movie.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
I'm looking through my notes to try to find like a counter argument, and all of my notes are like criticisms. They're all negative. I'm like,
but you liked
I was
it,
enjoying
Marty.
it. I was enjoying this movie, but all my notes are like, here's a problem. This doesn't really make sense.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between enjoying it and like, critically arguing that it's good, or like you could have just been in a good mood that day and having fun watching a movie. And,
like me when I watched
you're a
Shrek
piece of
2.
Shit for that.
Well, I watched it 6 hours ago, and I was in a good mood. There's some good jokes. There's the octopus character, when they finally reveal that Jack Black's character is dressed up like a dolphin. He's like, "Hey, that's Lenny. He was wearing a disguise." He like literally says that.
I hated that.
I love that. I like that. I also liked, and I know you guys are gonna hate this too, I like the sharks saying dun dun as they're like approaching anything in the movie. They make the Jaws theme song noise.
I didn't even like notice it. But I as a bit, sure.
That's kind of one you just like, they're gonna do.
Yeah. They did that, and they did the sleep with the fishes joke line.
Hold on a second, though. Does that mean that they've like seen like it's from Steven Spielberg's 1971 hit film Jaws?
There were so many and the other thing that I would say with DreamWorks movies, when they make references, when they make pop culture references, it's always like, okay, the only way you could make this pop culture reference is if you've seen the movie. It's not like these are like references that are like just general lexicon things where it's like whatever.
Yeah, because we all know fish know the general lexicon, but they wouldn't know specifics.
I mean, like knowing like he sleeps with the fishes, that one I can buy. But then like, yeah, Will Smith will like reference like some movie, and he'll like call out the movie's name or something in this movie, and it's like,
yeah, and he's like reading the IMDb page from his phone.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't have like a counter argument. I like the characters. That I guess is what I liked, but
I do think it's like honestly, like the overarching structure of this movie perfectly sound. Like this is like a good unlike Shrek 2, there's like a very like plottable beginning, middle, and end. Can't argue with that. It's definitely a movie for sure.
I think my expectations are so low that I'm just like, if there's a movie with like a normal story in it, I'm just like, oh, thank God. Like something I can watch that doesn't make me want to hate myself.
I watched like the first like hour of A Bug's Life this week just for shits and gigs, and like, oh my God, it's like worlds apart. Maybe I'll watch Finding Nemo again.
Just the first hour of Finding Nemo, though.
You can't watch anymore.
Then I'll fall asleep again.
We mentioned the homosexual agenda stuff at the beginning. They were specifically because because they accept Jack Black at the end of the movie, because Jack Black's character, it's a metaphor for coming out, right? Like that's the whole thing with that.
Oh,
I had a punch up,
man.
I had a punch up.
Fuck conservatives.
Yes.
Like, holy shit.
My punch up for that scene is when he's like, I'm a vegetarian and sometimes I like to dress like a dolphin. And also I'm gay. He should have said that at the end of it too.
Oh, that would have rocked.
He should have just thrown it in. Because like you're doing it anyway.
2004 was not ready for it.
No.
There's another kids movie that like does that. I swear to God.
There's a lot of kids
not a lot of
stuff that's been
gay
like
shark.
pushing the gay agenda.
There's another gay shark kids movie. Yeah, that's what
There's Baby Shark. All those
man.
sharks are gay as hell.
Mama
And these kids are just clapping along,
mommy shark,
unaware of
other mommy
how-
shark.
Other mommy shark. Doo doo doo. Yeah, you know, kids are gay now. It's fine, guys.
This movie is fucking sinful.
As a spoof.
Shark Tale. Yeah, actually, I just if you ask anybody what was like the first thing that like kind of tuned them in that their sexuality might be a little bit different, it was probably that 2005 Dreamworks classic, A Shark Tale.
Yeah. That's when I knew I wasn't gay. Couldn't take my eyes off Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, and you keep seeing fucking Lenny the shark at like pride parades and stuff.
The Shape of Water.
You're like, I gotta fuck a fish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess that I don't know what that is. But yeah, I guess that is that. I don't know if that's an LGB. Maybe it is though. I don't know. Yeah.
Mine was Brokeback. As a spoof, 5 out of 10. It isn't really... the amount of parody in this movie is really just like Scott said. It's just fish are humans and the sharks are mobsters. I thought they had more fun with it than what Scott is saying, but I don't really have a good defense.
I guess it's a lot of the jokes in this movie you could just pick up and put in any other movie.
And it could be any animal and it'd be fine, right? Yeah.
Yes.
There's not really a take here. They don't really do a lot of mob
As a
jokes.
matter of fact, they did that. They took all the jokes in this movie, they picked them up, and they moved them to Madagascar a couple years later.
Oh, shit.
I think the people making this movie were just trying to make it for kids. That's how I look at it. I don't think they were really trying to, like, let's do a take on it. I think that's just
Okay,
kids.
so then why were they like, kids fucking love The Godfather Part 1, The Godfather Part 2, Goodfellas?
Because they don't do that in this movie, though. I would say, like, they just kind of make fun of, like, mob movies, but they don't really make a specific parody of any of that stuff. This is just, like, they're just general bad guy gangsters, right? Like, I think that's not what the movie's trying to do at all. Like, I think that's an unfair thing to put on the movie when it's clearly, like, it was the marketing, though. You can blame the marketing.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. As a movie 7 out of 10, because I wrote 7 out of 10. I don't think I can defend this anymore, but I like that it was a genuine movie. It wasn't as snarky as the other Shrek stuff that we have seen and will see in the future.
This movie is a kids movie out of 10. I am starting to feel guilty about ripping apart kids movies.
I don't know, the third act.
But also there are good kids movies that I do like very much. So I'll talk about those some other time.
Not on this show.
As a spoof, I don't know, 6 out of 10. They really put fish in their place. Scott, go ahead.
Hey, as a movie, 1.8 out of 10.
Wow.
Ugh. Not good for all the reasons I said earlier. And as a spoof, 6.3 out of 10. It's pretty spoofy, but it's a lot of it's just very lazy. Like fish plus the stuff that happens to me when I go to wake equals this joke. Hey,
Scott,
guys,
do you have a novelty song?
I sure as hell do. Oh, I put it off for so long. I really tried to avoid it because I knew it'd be so bad for me. But I'm playing Fallout 4 only 5 years after this game came out. But this was Fallout 3 was a game that I beat not once but twice, and that's it takes a long time. And this is a video game, post-apocalyptic. I won't go too far into it if you don't know about it, but it's a video game that's famous for its soundtrack, because it's this post-nuclear apocalypse wasteland, where, much of like society and civilization has been destroyed, and there's like 1 or 2 radio stations left. One of them plays classical music, and the other one plays these like weirdo songs from the 40s and 50s, a few of which may be considered novelty songs, if I may. Yeah, before we have a listen, have you guys played any of the Fallout games?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Very cool. Well, okay, then, Marty, do you have a, no, just kidding. Let's listen to one now and see what you guys think. So this is a real, all the music they put in the game, it's all, like real music from real life. There's, like Ella Fitzgerald and like Billie Holiday, and, there's also some more obscure fare. And so this one was introduced, in this new Fallout 4 game, and it's called Crawl Out Through the Fallout, and it's sung by a gentleman named Sheldon Allman, and it was released in 1960s, so... it's one of those 60s novelty songs.
Number one at the box. Number one at the charts. Number one.
It might be. I don't have any chart data before me, but yeah, it's probably number one with a fucking bullet. So Sheldon Allman was born in Chicago, way back in the day, sang with the Royal National Guard of Canada during World War II. After which he attended the Los Angeles Conservatory of Music, and he was in a bunch of movies throughout the 50s and 60s. He was the singing voice for Mr. Ed on TV, that famous horse. And he wrote a bunch of TV theme songs as well, so he's like a musician, composer guy. In 1960, Allman releases Folk Songs for the 21st Century, an album of novelty songs all revolving around science fiction themes. The tongue-in-cheek material, which Allman wrote and arranged himself, included titles such as Crawl Out Through the Fallout, Radioactive Mama, in addition, Allman wrote 2 comedy horror-themed stage musicals with Bobby Pickett, composer of the novelty hit song Monster Mash.
My boy!
The musicals were I'm Sorry, the Bridge is Out, You'll Have to Spend the Night, and its sequel, Frankenstein Unbound.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wait.
and the former of which was made into so that would be this I'm Sorry, the Bridge is Out, You'll Have to Spend the Night, was made into a 1999 film called Monster Mash, so... maybe we should watch that?
Which is on the list. It has been on our list for next year's Halloween month, I think, actually.
Fuck
yes.
yeah. So let's listen to this tune. It's on the Fallout 4 soundtrack, and it's also written by the guy who wrote this kooky musical that we're going to watch later on. So let's fucking, with no further ado, have a listen.
Crawl out through the fallout, 'cause they said this bomb was clean. If you cannot find the way, just listen for my song.
Fallout's great. I haven't played it. I'm sure it's fine.
Same.
Hey, can I tell you guys something? It's a lot of fun, and it's also just like there's so much stuff to do, and there's so much like tedium to get into that you can sit there for hours and hours, and you'll start playing, and all of a sudden 700 hours went by. Oh no.
That sounds terrible. Oh no.
My job. I forgot to call in sick for 50 days.
My wife, she's dead.
Oh no, my cats, they still love me.
Yeah, my wife is a Furby. All right, guys. Did you know that I'm building a nuclear fallout shelter?
Yeah, you've
You're not
mentioned
supposed
it.
to tell anybody else. That's just for us to know.
No, I think it's good to let people
Well,
know.
actually, I didn't want you guys to know because there's only room for two people in it.
Oh, no.
So it's a little bit awkward.
Oh, fuck.
Anyways, and did I tell you that I made 3 automaton android guards to stay? There's 3 chambers outside of my Fallout shelter that guard it and keep anybody out, and I modeled them. I used celebrity footage to create their personalities, so they're all modeled after different. Did I talk about this at all?
Yes, you've told us this many times. We get it.
I mean, yeah, it took months and months, and it's kind of been my number one hobby for the past it's been my quarantine project. Yeah, well, anyways, that's been fun to me. Ooh, what the fuck is that? Do you hear those sirens blaring?
Uh-oh. Oh,
God.
no.
I gotta go.
No.
And I run away. You see me fly down the hall and down through this iron door, and I flee away down the chamber. You have to get to Scotty's bunker before the bombs hit. Oh, and guess what else? But in front of me, I have a 20-sided die that will determine whether your actions and attempts succeed to
Thank God we're
get past
we're
these.
finally a D&D podcast.
I want to roll.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Should we do the dice or not?
Yes.
Maybe we
no, I want to
should.
do the
Yeah,
dice.
do the
I want to do the
all
dice.
Right, all right.
I just want to roll. Can I roll for myself?
Sure, but don't lie.
I wouldn't lie. That's not fun.
One of us has dice and doesn't lie. One of us doesn't have dice and does lie.
All right. So you run into the first chamber. It's just like an empty, like sort of like almost like an office space. You know, it's got like a drop ceiling and like a thinly carpeted floor, and then there's just like a iron folding chair in the center of the otherwise empty room. And sitting in the iron folding chair, you see a man wearing little pointed boots with a buckle, some bell-bottomed trousers, a sort of a little like foppish waistcoat with a big ruffly handkerchief out the front of his chest. He's got sort of scraggly, craggly teeth.
This is Austin
and
Powers.
and
Mr. Powers.
thick and hello, baby.
I'd like to go. We'd like to go to the next room, please.
It's me, the first android baby. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Why are you laughing?
You shall not pass this chamber, baby. Ooh.
Do I make you Randy?
Oh, you might, baby. Okay, make me a charisma roll, Marty. Here, I'm gonna
gotta roll
roll
for
it
me.
for you. He said, "Do I make you Randy?" All right. He says, "Ooh, I think you are, baby. Maybe I should let you through."
I pat him on the back.
He said he's he feels your back pat, and then he like turns around and sort of like scampers like backwards, like rubbing his chest, and he's like and he says, "Don't play coy with me, baby. You know what you have to do to pass." Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll keep monopolizing the turn if you got nothing to say, Kelly. But I feel like I'm
I got my own plan. I'm just seeing how this goes.
okay. Mr. Powers, is there something I can get you? Is there something you want?
He says, "That's not for me to answer, Shagadelic."
Okay, Mr. Powers, I happen to be well-versed in dentistry. I can help you fix your teeth.
He goes into a nutshell, quite frankly. He doesn't seem to like that.
Oh my God. I pull out a condom and I say, I guess I...
He starts shaking his head.
I eat the condom. I'm like, oh, I was hungry. Sorry.
Oh my God.
Let's see. You're gonna make a charisma roll. Oh my God. He loves that. He starts, he pulls out a condom and like eats it too, like kind of like, trying to be like sexy about it.
Hell yeah.
And then he says, "You've done it, baby. You've made me Randy. You've made me horny." And the door bursts open and then he like starts like sparking out of his neck and eyes.
Wait, why
Perfect.
does Kelly get to go with me though?
Hey,
Because you're on a fucking
'cause you
team.
Oh,
broke
we
it.
are on a
shit.
team. Okay.
We are on a team. I was just seeing how it was going to go. I had my own plan that might have thrown you under the bus. I didn't know.
Okay.
You walk into the next chamber. This one is much more dimly lit and has like some like file cabinets and stuff and like shelves, and it's a little bit more like maze-like and labyrinthine. And as you're looking for the door, you hear some like skittering on like the shelves above you, and then you hear like a like eek eek squeak squeak. And then right in front of the door, as you finally find it, you see a guy in a trench coat. He seems to be a Belgian man, and he's
Hercule Poirot?
holding a hammer in his hand. He looks a little bit younger. Oh, and he's in black and white for some reason.
Is it
And then all of a sudden,
vampire?
next to him, and all of a sudden, well, as you're
it's the
wondering
Lurch.
that, no, he's normal height. All of a sudden, as you're wondering if he's a vampire, a bat flies down from the ceiling and poof turns into a human form, and it looks to be an elderly man with sort of longish features and white hair in a Dracula costume.
Are you Dracula and Dr. Frankenstein?
It's Leslie Nielsen as Dracula and the killer from Man's Bites Dog. And just as
I forgot that movie's from Belgium.
and just as you make this realization, they lurch forward to attack you.
Oh my God.
What do you do?
I said, wait, whoa. What's going on here? Why are you guys attacking us? Stop. We're here to film you. This is part of the... We're filming...
Yeah, we're part of the film crew.
We're with the film crew.
Ooh, okay. Kelly, make a roll.
I got a 1.
Oh my God. All right, they continue forward with murder in their eyes.
I pull out my phone and I start filming them. And I say, see, I'm filming you. You have to do the next scene. We have to do the next scene now, guys. We already did this scene. We got to do the next scene.
All right. Okay, the man in the trench coat stops and is like,
Oh my God.
And he starts speaking in Belgian, to the camera. You've definitely stopped him in his tracks, but the vampire still continues forward, looking bloodthirsty.
I drop a banana peel in front of him.
All right, make a roll.
13.
He slips on the banana peel and cracks his head on the ground and does crosses his eyes and does like a Leslie Nielsen sort of deadpan take to it, and it looks like he may it may take just one more blow to shut this vampire down.
That was great.
Meanwhile, the Belgian man just continues to prattle in front of the camera, and he seems to want to guide you down the chamber.
Yeah. Well, you have to go to the next room. That's where the next scene is. That's where the next scene is.
I help Dracula Leslie up, and I say, "Come on, we gotta go. Quit fooling around."
He says,
"Okay,
let's go to the blood bank." And as you help him up, he lurches for your neck.
Oh no! I take off my cross. And I put my cross on his forehead as he's attacking Kelly.
Oh, boy. All right, let's see what happens.
Marty's signature cross that he always wears.
Yeah, all right. You burn him, and he lets go of Kelly, and now he seems to be in an extra weakened state. And just as you're wondering what to do, the Man Bites Dog murderer just smacks him in the head with a hammer, and he points, and he's like, "You film."
Yeah, I'm filming.
He murders the vampire, and then he guides you, and then he gestures you over to the door.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah, just open up the door, and we'll go on.
So you follow him to the door, and he points at you, Marty, with the camera, and he makes a gesture he wants you to get closer to the door, film the handle closer.
I do. I get a close up of the door.
I keep a close eye on him while all this is going down.
So then as you're focusing in on the door, all of a sudden you don't notice as he sort of sneaks around the back of the two of you.
No, I'm sort keeping an eye on him.
Oh, okay. Well, then
on the murderer, not on Marty. I don't care. I don't care about Marty. He's not gonna hurt me.
Okay, he seems to be eyeing you up then, and then he's he tries to guide you back the other way down from
no,
the way
I gotta
you came.
stay. This is the door. We gotta go through the door. I'm not going that way, Belgian man. Let me analyze. Does he have any weapons, or is it just one?
Yeah, he's
guy?
holding a hammer. He walks up to Marty and starts to try to grab the phone from Marty.
I turn around and I kick him in the balls.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was going to be my next move.
All right, you kick him in the balls, and then he flinches, but then he just returns with a hammer strike upon you and smacks
I go for
you
the
across
hammer.
the face.
Damn it.
All right, make a roll.
My
Make a roll
AC
to grab
is-
the hammer.
My AC's 20. My AC's 20.
I got a 9.
All right, you're grappled. Kelly grabs for the hammer, and now he's like locked with the murderer, trying to pry
I
the hammer from his hands.
Stomp on his foot, and then I poke him in the eyes.
Oh, no.
Oh my God! You stomp on his foot, and you feel the bones of his metatarsals breaking, and then you fucking feel your fingers plunge into the soft tissue of his eyes, and he screams and shrieks in pain and like staggers off down the hallway back from where you came, and you see the door flip open.
Oh, we just had to kill them. One of those classic doors that doesn't open until you kill everyone in the room. Of course.
These are my favorite D&D puzzles. Is murder everything, and then you're allowed to move on.
Oh, that's this. It's of course. How could we be so dumb? Okay, never mind. Go.
You walk into the next chamber, and you hear the sound of the buzz of amps and somebody like tuning up a drum kit.
Spinal Tap.
You walk the next. You immediately recognize in the chamber Spinal Tap in this huge. This is much larger than the other two chambers, and there are two stages across from each other with a huge crowd in the middle of also androids. And on the stage opposing them is a bunch of instruments set up with nobody up there.
Kelly, I think we're supposed to battle the bands, these guys.
Yep, I'm ready to drum off against them.
First, I turn the volume down on all of their amps, though, before we go on stage.
to 10. To 10,
Okay,
so they
yeah,
don't
to 10,
notice.
to 10, yes, Kelly's right.
Yeah, so you try to walk up onto their stage. Let's roll for that.
Oh shit!
All right, they're like, "Oi,
You must do it.
it's you.
Marty, get your phone out quick.
Your stage is over there, mate. Our amps are perfectly fine the way they sound, innit?"
All
All
right.
right, we go over there. Kelly, what do you want to do?
I need to put ear protection in first and foremost.
Oh, same. Do you have
Very
extra?
smart.
Do you have extra for me?
I don't know. Do I?
Roll for it.
Yeah, and roll for it.
Yeah, I got ear
okay,
protection. Yeah.
Do you want to drum or do you want to play do vocals?
I'll do drums.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, I'll do drums. Those are the only two options. That seems like kind of a
I don't know
shitty
what other
band.
instruments I can play, so I'm gonna do vocals.
I'll do drums.
All right, it's a rap.
Yeah, we'll do a rap. We'll do a rap. There you go. We'll do a rap. Drop a beat.
Okay, so yeah, what do you do? What do you play? I guess you're opening.
Okay, what's our first? What song are we gonna play? Let's do, famous rap. Famous raps. Go. Just start naming famous raps.
The Gangster's Paradise.
Right.
The Cupid Shuffle.
Okay, I'll start with Gangster's Paradise. All right, I rap Gangster's Paradise, and I'm just gonna roll for that. Thank you.
Okay. You do
I got an 18 on the drums.
Oh my God. So you do a pretty good showing of Gangster's Paradise, and people are like, wow, this band, that's very minimalist. We kind of like that. It's very rhythm oriented. And so then you finish up, and the crowd gives you like a fair bit of applause, but then they turn with glee to see Spinal Tap, and they're like, this one is called one of the songs from the movie.
Big Bottom.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Immediately, 5 of the 6 strings on the guitar player's guitar just break. Plink, plonk, plonk,
Damn.
plonk. And the singer's microphone stand just snaps in half, and he like falls forward, like almost into the crowd. But then they manage to bring the momentum back towards the end. They sort of find their footing again. But then the crowd
We steal the momentum away with Rapper's Delight. Wait, Marty, do you want to play that, or do you want to do the cha-cha slide and get?
I got this one. I got an idea for the third song. If we need a third song, I got an idea for the third song.
Okay.
Well, right now this is song number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So what was
Rapper's Delight?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
We'll give them we'll pull the Grateful Dead on them.
Have you ever been over to a friend's house
15
and the food just ain't that good?
Yeah.
So you hit him with Rapper's Delight, but then all of a sudden, Marty, your mic just cuts out. Kelly, you're drumming to nothing, and it seems just like the crowd can't hear you. What do you do?
I grab a mic and I start rapping.
I grab the other drums and I start drumming.
There's a third mic. Okay. You finish out with your a cappella version of
I'm
Rapper's
drumming.
Delight.
I'm on the other drum set. I'm on the second drum set on stage.
You switch positions and you finish out the song. Okay, hold on. This is for Marty playing drums. Oh my God! You pick it up as you come in with a wonderful flourish and just pick it up as though nothing had happened. It just feels like this. It feels like a stunt that you just pulled. Like yeah. The crowd loves it, and you've defeated. And then all of a sudden, the Spinal Tap androids explode, and all the other crowd androids just collapse into a pile of gears and buckets of rust, and the door opens before you.
Scotty.
Do we get an extra life like in Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
So this door is like a grated door, and you see me just standing there, and I'm like, congratulations, guys. You did great. You did so good, but unfortunately, there's only room for one of you in my bunker.
Oh no!
You're going to have to convince me.
Oh, God. Okay, listen, Scott. We go back a long ways. We made a movie together, you know? And that kind of thing bonds a friendship more meaningful than anything you and Kelly have ever done together, you know? We're really bonded by that experience. And
Scott, I eat less than Marty.
Oh, fuck. God damn it.
All right, Kelly, make your charisma roll.
Oh, it's a 12.
Oh, can I make my charisma roll?
I just made it for you, and let's see what happens. I'm like, oh, that's a good point, Kelly, but unfortunately, all I have to eat in here is strips of film. Marty, get in here.
I love to eat film.
Yeah, you guys have fun with your cellulose shit, whatever it's called.
Scott, hear me out. We can
Let's
eat
turn
Kelly.
the celluloid into cellulite. I'm sorry. And then just as Marty enters the vault, Kelly, all you see is the atomic flash of the bomb, and you're burned to a cinder.
Oh no, I see it through the walls like they do.
All right, well, that was that game was called Scotty's Bunker. Thanks for playing.
Scotty's Bomb.
Loved it.
Hey.
Oh.
Kelly. Marty.
No, Marty.
Hey, Kelly, should we ask what that question we wanted to ask Marty?
Yeah, I guess it's a good time. Not as good as ever to ask him.
All right, I'll just go ahead and ask. Marty, do you have a novelty?
I'm busy. I'm going to have my assistant answer your question for you, though.
Oh no!
my
Your assistant.
She comes from Gotham City, and she's a horror psychiatrist.
Every fifth episode, he's got.
I gotta do it.
Right.
I got a novelty product for you. Not novelty song, a novelty product. For this week's novelty product, though, we're once again taking a little visit to a tourist destination, a roadside attraction, a novelty gift shop, a cafe, and everything in between. That's right, we're going to take a trip to South Dakota to visit the memorable Wall Drug. But in particular, we're taking a look at the road signs of Wall Drug, and I just sent one to you guys in the chat. Wall Drug is a tourist shop located in Wall, South Dakota, right next door to the Badlands National Park, right off of I-90. The store is really a collection of shops, mostly aimed at like cowboy-themed stores. They have like an old-school shoe store and all these other gift shops that are pretty much exclusively sell products that say Wall Drug printed on them. There's also a great cafe inside the shop that famously sells 5-cent coffee, which is quite good coffee, I will say. It's good coffee for 5 cents, and just good coffee in general. Wall Drug is also featured in the Best Picture nominated No Man Land this year. Fun fact. The best way to describe Wall Drug that I've ever seen is a fun quote from travel author Bill Bryson, who wrote the 1989 book The Lost Continent, and he's referring to Wall Drug. He says, "It's an awful place, one of the world's worst tourist traps, but I loved it, and I won't have a word said against it," which is exactly how I feel about the place. It is a horrible tourist trap, but it rules. There's not much to this place besides just like selling stuff that has their own name on it, and they have a big dinosaur in the backyard. But we're talking about the road signs. Anyone who's driven on I-90 in South Dakota knows about the Wall Drug signs. Basically, every 5 miles or so, you'll see a sign that promotes how far away you are from Wall Drug or some aspect of the store. The idea for these road signs dates back to 1936 when owners Dorothy and Ted Husted were looking for ways to establish Wall Drug as a successful store. Their first idea was to start placing road signs on the nearby Highway 16, asking folks on the road if they could put up these custom signs saying how far they had to get to Wall Drug. Eventually, these signs started popping up around the world, showing up in Morocco, Amsterdam, and London, all proclaiming how far to go to get to Wall Drug. Famously, in London, they put signs in the London Underground and informed people looking at the sign that if they wrote to Wall Drug, they'd send them back like free pamphlets about the store. They claim that they received 12 to 20 letters a day from doing this promotional thing. So today you'll see all these kind of signs, and they're all hand-painted signs. They hand-painted all these signs, put them all around. There's probably like, I don't even know, hundreds of these signs on I-90 and on other highways that kind of head towards this spot in South Dakota. They're all great. They all have very unique visual style. I love them all. The one I shared, I think I shared one to you guys. Did I share this one to you guys or not? There's one that, yes, the one that says "Do lunch or be lunch" with a dinosaur on it is a sign that if I was rich, I would buy that sign and put it in my house. I love that sign so much.
It's kind of aggressive.
They really want to sell you lunch.
If I don't eat lunch, a dinosaur is going to fucking eat me?
Yeah, dude. Those fossils come to life. So that's the Wall Drug signs. If you want more information, go to the Wall Drug website. They have a lot of historical information about the store on that site. For this week's novelty quiz, though, I thought we'd take a gander back to another quiz that Scott once did. A little geography quiz. And this time, I'm going to give you a pair of famous U.S. tourist destinations, and you're going to tell me which one is closer to Wall Drug store. We will alternate who goes first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will you accept this? May I, in Google Maps, just look up where Wall Drug is?
I'm going to tell you how about this? I'll tell you where it is. It's in the west.
It's in South Dakota?
It's in the west part of South Dakota. So it's very close to the border of the west side of South Dakota. West central South Dakota. Like an hour from the border, roughly.
Marty, that's perfect.
Okay. Gentlemen, what is closer to Wall Drug? I've got 5 of these for you. What is closer to Wall Drug? How far away? Or you don't have to guess how far away it is. That's the theme of the thing because of the signs.
I will guess down to the inch.
What's closer, the Grand Canyon or the Mall of America?
Ooh-wee. I'll say the mall.
Kelly, which one do you think it is?
I'll say the Grand Canyon, but I think it's the mall.
It is the Mall of America, 514 miles versus 1,078. Kelly, you get to go first. What's closer, the Space Needle or the Statue of Liberty?
Statue of Liberty.
Space Needle.
Scott gets it again. Space Needle is closer. I should have done 3 options for this, but now that I'm thinking about it.
Just make one up.
Okay. Yellowstone National Park, Dubai, or
it's always going to be. Or I was going to say it's always going to be the third one. Yeah. Okay.
Or the world's largest ball of twine, which is in Kansas.
Oh, frick.
Ooh.
Yellowstone.
Ooh. Okay, I'll say the twine.
The twine has it. It is The world's largest ball of
I'm
twine.
getting swept.
The world's largest ball of twine is 467 miles. Yellowstone, 481. The last one, the Space Needle, is 1,187 miles. Statue of Liberty, 1647.
Are we talking? Are we gonna do this A to B thing again, or is it like the road? How far of a drive it is? Because it's.
I'm doing drive. I'm doing straight miles.
It's your quiz.
I'm doing miles.
Sorry.
Because remember, part of this is we're talking about the road signs. So I'm doing road mile distance.
There's a closure on
Not as the crow
Melrose.
flies.
Can we skip to the fifth question? That's worth 1,000 points, please.
This fourth question is worth 400 points.
Oh shit!
What's closer? Disneyland, the Indian Ocean, or Disney World?
Disneyland, Indiana. I'm gonna say Disneyland.
I'm gonna say Disneyland. Also,
You both get 400 points. Disneyland is closer, yes.
Yay!
Keeping it close.
Wow.
Keeping it real
How are we gonna
close.
spend these points? We're rich now.
1,382 miles for Disneyland versus 1,894 miles for Disney World. Indian Ocean, who the fuck knows how far away that is? Probably pretty far.
pretty far.
What is closer? And this question is worth 401 points. The House on the Rock or the world's largest truck stop in Walcott, Iowa?
Oh my god!
Oh, ooh, it's gonna be close, but I'll say the house on the damn rock.
The world's largest truck stop.
The House on the Rock is 664 miles away. The world's largest truck stop, 706. The House on the Rock is
fuck.
slightly
This is
closer.
bullshit.
Slightly closer. Scott wins the quiz, and that concludes. Go to Waldrug. If you're going to Mount Rushmore, fuck Mount Rushmore. Go to Waldrug in the Badlands instead. You'll have a much better time.
All right, weirdo. What a good way to end.
Yeah. Plugging like a tourist trap. Just plugging a tourist trap.
And then me just like calling you a weirdo.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Like
every
me.
week.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, usually I'll do it like at least try to be funny about it.
Okay, be funny about it. Tell me I'm a weirdo in a funny way.
All right, weirdo.
You're right. That was very funny.
I
thought it
much
was.
funnier.
Well, that's gonna do it for us this week. We close out April Fool's month next week, gentlemen. Last one.
Oh my god, and it's gonna be fucking zany as shit. Kelly, what is
Yeah.
our movie next week?
I'm gonna give the viewer a chance to name it. Viewer, do you know? Listener, do you know
It's
what
like Dora the
next-
Explorer. Yeah, give him a little pause.
Do you know what
it
the
is?
movie is?
We'll see you next week, and you better have the answer.
No.
No, hold on, Kelly. What's the movie?
You mean Dupree, of course.
Yeah!
We did it.
Oh, he did it.
We really appreciate it.
But really, we're doing Captain Underpants. But don't tell your mom about it.